Hello and welcome to the Street Aesthete channel. Today we're playing Geoguessr Battle Royale Distance. As usual in this series, we are going to be playing without moving, while our opponents have the advantage of being able to move around in the coverage. And here comes our first round. Looking probably like Asia. First thought is Indonesia, but I also wouldn't like to rule out Thailand just yet, or even Cambodia, but on the whole I think Indonesia may be correct. But the red soil is pointing me a little bit more towards Cambodia. We've got a tin roof here, then tiles here, and tiles here. So tiles might lead us more towards the island of Java in Indonesia. But I think on the whole I'm going to stick with my idea of Cambodia. Just guessing in the middle of the country has gained us the second best guess. And it was indeed Cambodia. We were a bit further north there. This immediately looks a lot closer to home to me, looking very much like the UK. However, that white building over there reminds me a lot more of Ireland. The gorse would point me a bit further north in the British Isles. Another white house here, I think that more or less confirms Ireland. We also don't have poles quite like that with the two insulators on top on the island of Great Britain. So Ireland, I think, is the right call. It could possibly be northwestern France, Normandy, Brittany, but on the whole Ireland making the most sense. And because of that gorse, I am going to go a little bit further north. We could, I suppose, be in Northern Ireland, but I think the Republic makes more sense. And we've got the top guess, but not by much. And it was actually the Isle of Man. Making sense there. Feeling like not quite Ireland and not quite Britain. The gorse, the rolling hills. An interesting round. This, I think, must be Iceland. We've got this dark, volcanic dirt and stone littered beside the road. We've got these rather bare volcanic looking hills, a little bit of snow on them, and I suppose these poles are here as markers for when it snows so that the road is still discernible. Is there anywhere else this could be? I was thinking about the Faroe Islands, but I think it's actually just too wide a landscape for that. So Iceland making sense, and Iceland is not a country that I'm particularly good at region guessing, so I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm going to basically go in the west, although it does look a bit more remote. We don't see any settlements, so we could be out in the other direction, or in the north, or anywhere for that matter, but we have got the top guess, and it was indeed over in the east, so it was a bit more remote. Looks like this player here is going to be our key opponent, our chief opponent. We had Sweden and Finland there, neither of which sprang to mind for me, although I could have seen a northern Norway. And speaking of Norway, I think that's exactly where we are now. We've got these large mountains. I'm assuming there's a body of water not too far away. We've got this wood-panelled architecture, fairly typical of Western Scandinavia. But on the whole it's looking rather lush, and they've even got some kind of fruit tree plantation here, so a bit further south is going to be the play in Norway. Maybe I'll put us over by Bergen, or even closer to Oslo. Yeah, I think I'll go in the region just outside of the capital. Okay, not the best guess, but certainly better off than the next placed opponent. Let's put ourselves in the other spot and just make a guess. See if that puts us any better off. It does. Okay, so we were on the west coast in amongst the fjords. So we couldn't see it, but there was indeed a fjord there. And this is the final round for the game. Let's see if we can make it a victory. Rather lush looking vegetation here, but extremely Soviet looking neighbourhood. So Bulgaria comes to mind, where the climate is a bit more favourable. And look at this old car. Is this a Lada? Could be, not sure. Could we actually even be in a southern part of Russia? I suppose that also is possible. We can't see any license plates to see if we've got an EU plate present. Yeah, Bulgaria the first thought, so I'm going to get one of those in, but I'm also going to be ready to put something in southern Russia. I suppose we could be somewhere near the Black Sea, we could be in Krasnodar. Yeah, okay, let's put one of those in, see if that's... Oh yeah, even better. So I suspect southern Russia is correct. Oh, it was actually Ukraine. Yeah, in Zaporizhia there. Yeah. To be perfectly candid with you for just a moment, I haven't actually played Geoguessr for about 3 weeks, so I'm a little bit rusty, so I'm very pleased to have been able to win that game. Because that was such a short game, I thought I'd play a little bonus game of Battle Royale countries, which is not something we've done before on the channel, and something that is a little bit more fast-paced, and perhaps I'm a bit less likely to be able to easily take the victory in, because everyone really doesn't have time to move around. You've got to play so quickly. Okay, straight off the bat, we are in Europe. Looks like it's going to be Rota dos Sabores, the Wheel of Flavours. Is this Trabalhador? Yeah, this has got to be Portugal, hasn't it? A little bit slow off the mark there, and it wasn't in fact the mainland, but it was Madeira, which is a place that I've been in real life. Although I can't say I immediately recognised it, but now that I take a closer look, we've got these wonderful wooded hills shrouded in mist. The sea visible over here, and these long headlands. Lots of terracotta tiled roofs, and in fact the whole island of Madeira is littered with these tunnels, the fantastic road infrastructure that they've built into the mountains and cliffs of the island. Really quite a beautiful place. Okay. Finally, on to the next round. We've got some fir trees here. We've got a yellow road line. Looks like we're driving on the left. I think this is almost certainly Lesotho. So we'll lock our guess. And it is correct. So we could tell that from the bare grassy hills with the rocks strewn about, the wide open landscape with mountains, yellow road lines on the outside and white in the middle generally indicate South Africa and the adjacent micronations. And Lesotho is just one of those countries. It's small enough that once you've seen it, you can start to recognise it, and even probably start to recognise the different regions of it. Eswatini, the other micronation adjacent to South Africa, generally characterised with a redder sort of soil. And we've got the little white flowers here, making me think of the Baltics, with the birches, this open landscape. Everything kind of feels like Estonia to me. I could see Latvia also, but let's get the guess in. And it was indeed Estonia. We're down to the final 2 players here, so we're really quick fire. And that is a Romanian poll, although you can see similar in Hungary. But on the whole, this is looking most like Romania, I would say, so let's get the guess in. Hungary is the other possibility, so we'll get that lined up ready. That was it. Okay. So yeah, you've just got to be really quick off the draw in these. I think we'll play one more of those. It was good fun. It felt like we didn't even really get going in the game. I should also mention that you get one 50-50 to use per game, which we didn't need to use that time. Countries were almost always fairly obvious, but perhaps we will in this game. So I'm not going to be in a big rush here because I know how long the first round can take. I'm going to really take a look around and see if I can figure out where we are. And it is quite a tricky one. I think we're probably in South America. Let's see, the sun. I think the sun is over here, so it seems to be in the south, which would put us in the northern hemisphere, perhaps. We'll take a look at any other countries that get guessed. We've already got a 50-50 being used. I wonder if this might actually be one that... What is that flag? I've honestly no idea. What am I thinking of here? I suppose Peru and Bolivia are the two that come to mind. People are saying in Africa. That's the flag of Kenya, isn't it? I don't think Kenya is in the game. Could it actually be that this is Africa? Actually, maybe it is. Yes, we've got an African-looking chap over here, so I'm definitely off South America now. I think we're going to go in Rwanda. Yes, making sense. Rwanda, we've got this reddish soil. We've got actually pretty good buildings here. It's one of the more affluent, one of the richer countries on the continent, and indeed in the region of East Africa. Okay, and we're through to the next round. It's looking like North America straight away. You can see from the red line, driving on the right. Although, actually, now taking a closer look, I'm less sure of that. It's looking a lot more European now I look around. Ooh, shall we move and see what this sign says? I think we won't. So not the US. I think it probably is Canada, I think my first thought was correct, that it was North America. And yeah, we were in this area between the Great Lakes, not too far from London, Ontario. I suppose the thing that made me think of Europe was that actually over here we could almost be forgiven for thinking we had only white road lines. But yeah, something about these big freighter lorries and the big Chevy style cars was feeling a lot more American to me than European, especially something like that, and like the lorry behind it. Okay, our big clue here is going to be the language, which I'm going to go straight to. Beware of traffic. Punggol Road. Okay, this has just got to be Singapore, hasn't it? Now I can tell that from the... Ooh, actually it could be Malaysia if it's not. No, it was Singapore. So we could tell that from the English alongside the Malay language, the very affluent looking buildings. Here we are in Europe, I would say. Maison Rouge, I think the red house, I suppose referring to that roof, so let's just go straight in France. And I would have said we're somewhere in the mountainous south. It's not France. How interesting. If not France, if not Belgium, I suppose it's got to be Switzerland. We do. Now I look a bit closer. We have the low cam, and we were just outside of Geneva there, so definitely French speaking. Back in Europe once again, and what an incredibly Dutch looking scene. We've got the zigzag paving, we've got the yellow license plates on the cars, we've got these low bungalows, lots of brick everywhere. Could only be the Netherlands, really. We're driving on the left. We've got big road infrastructure here, English language, but with some sort of Chinese as well. I reckon this could be Hong Kong, so you just click China, don't you? Okay, and we're down to the last two players here, and it looks like we've probably got the Netherlands again, so let's just get that in quickly. Zigzag paving, yellow license plate, brick houses. Yeah, very Dutch looking indeed. We've both locked in, so we're probably both through. Oh, okay, that was it. I won. I don't know if we get to see where our opponent guessed, And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Since you've made it this far, why not leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Geoguessr content and Street View explorations of noteworthy locations. If you've enjoyed the music in this video, then take a look at my first channel, which is where I upload all of my original music.